Folks, I kind of predicted this. If you paid close attention and read between the lines on our last show, we saw Trump's lead against Nikki Haley shrunk to about 7 points, according to the latest poll out of New Hampshire, and Christie was polling at 12. And I said, if he's really serious about being this never Trump savior, if he's really auditioning for MSNBC and he really wants to pull at the heartstrings of the Morning Joes and the Chris Hayeses, he will drop out now. And sure enough, he dropped out. And not only did he drop out, but you could tell this whole campaign is just a giant mug for the camera and a giant audition for liberal media, because he did what you normally don't do when you drop out. He called a rally and announced at a campaign rally that he was dropping out. Doesn't usually happen that way. Let's take a look.
Campaigns are run to win. That's why we do them. I see the chairman here in New Hampshire. He knows we run campaigns to win. My goal has never been to be just a voice against the hate and the division and the selfishness of what our party has become under Donald Trump. It's also been to win the nomination and defeat Joe Biden and restore our party and our country to a new place of hope and optimism in this country. I've always said that if there came a point in time in this race where I couldn't see a path to accomplishing that goal, that I would get out.
Apparently, the day you couldn't see a path to your dick, it didn't make you decide to stop eating donuts.
Didn't deter you, but he cannot see a path to the presidency. And so now he is saying what?
That there isn't a path for me to win the nomination, which is why I'm suspending my campaign tonight for President of the United States.
That is the saddest, most miserable campaign rally crowd I've ever seen.
I know, and I can see it from some of the faces here, that I'm disappointing some people by doing this.
I mean, to be fair, they looked kind of miserable before you announced you were suspending your campaign. Their expressions didn't exactly change. But yeah, no, not too happy.
People who believe in our message and believe in what we've been doing. I also know, though, it's the right thing for me to do. Because I want to promise you this. I am going to make sure that in no way do I enable Donald Trump to ever be president of the United States again. And that's more important than my own personal ambition.
Okay.
Yeah!
Yeah, they're only there if they were promised free pizza. All right, so I just want to make a point about Kristi Kreme here. He was the original Donald Trump. This guy shut down the New Jersey bridge. He shut down lanes on the George Washington Bridge to retaliate against a political opponent. He shut down lanes that were coming out of the district that his political opponent represented. This was I believe, a Democrat who crossed him. So he was the original Trump. In many ways, he was everything you're told Donald Trump is, this vengeful, vindictive, narcissistic creep.
Kind of fake macho, you know?
Yeah, the fake macho, the yelling at the press. He's just mad that Donald Trump got to be Donald Trump. He was supposed to be Donald Trump. He's no better than Donald Trump. If his political career had done, because really, like Christie was on a trajectory to be that. Now, I don't think he has the unique political talents of Donald Trump. He tried. But if Trump hadn't entered the race, Christie would have had a much better chance. Trump was a much more talented version in terms of the stagecraft of politics than Christie was. That's his beef. It's not what Donald Trump is. It's that Donald Trump stole his act.
Yeah, he was the first major politician, I think maybe second to Ben Carson. It was either Ben Carson or Chris Christie, but one of the first major national figures, nationally popular figures in 2016 to endorse Trump. And now this whole campaign was,
and then
obviously
Trump fucked him. That's another thing. Trump didn't give him a position.
He didn't give him a job.
Him and Romney. Trump humiliated both of them. He seemed to take special pleasure in stringing them along. And this is what I'm saying. If you're aware of Christie's history and his career, that's some shit he would have done if he had gotten in a position to do it. That's why it stings so much.
Well, the other thing is, in case it wasn't completely evident that this whole campaign was just for the cameras, just for the media, the guy called a rally to announce that he was dropping out of the race because he wanted cameras on him to make a big speech about how he's putting country first and my goal is to keep Trump out of the White House. That was for MSNBC. That's why he dragged those people out to the rally. You usually don't do that. If you're going to suspend your campaign at a rally, it's usually on an election night, like on the primary calendar, where you go into whatever, South Carolina, and you say, okay, you tell your team, if we don't hit a certain threshold of support tonight, then there's no path forward. We're going to drop out. And then you come out to the crowd who's there anyway because it's election night, so you have to address them. And you say, we are sad to say we are suspending our campaign. You don't just call a rally and bring people out with the advanced knowledge that you know for sure. Okay, the purpose of this gathering, even though we're billing it as a campaign event, is to announce that we're not campaigning anymore. The reason he did that is because he knows, and I bet he's right about this, that liberal media is going to play that clip and say, how statesmanlike of Chris Christie, and then the offers will come. You know, that's at least what he's angling for. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen, but he's going to get good press from the liberal media out of this because he made a spectacle out of not only suspending his campaign, but announcing, I'm going to do everything I can to stop Donald Trump from winning. He's basically saying, I am tacitly endorsing the Democratic ticket. That's basically what that was. And there's nothing that the MSNBC crowd likes more than a convert, right? That's why they love the Lincoln Project so much. So as noble as he tried to make that speech sound on camera, he was recorded off camera. There is some audio of him saying not too nice things about Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, which is kind of surprising because the thought was if he drops out, he's going to endorse one of those now that Haley has emerged clearly as the front runner for second place, rather, with all the momentum. You thought maybe he'd endorse her, but here he is. This was published by The Recount on their Twitter feed. Here's some hot mic footage from Chris Christie.
People don't want to hear it, Wayne. They don't want to hear it. We know we're right, but they don't want to hear it.
Right.
And there's, we couldn't have been any clearer.
Right.
We couldn't have been any more direct or worked any harder. So,
And let's not forget she spent $68 million.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spent like
Well, when you give land to
10.
China and places like that.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, And she's going to get smoked, and you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She hasn't even been.
And she's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes. Oh, I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well, he's
Petrified. Okay, then the recording cuts out. It's safe to assume that DeSantis was petrified that he was going to endorse Nikki Haley, which would really probably stick a fork in DeSantis's campaign, at least in the now critical state of New Hampshire for both DeSantis and Nikki Haley. But yeah, right there behind the scenes now leaked, well, yeah, no, she has no chance. She's going to get creamed. Like the thought was, what I thought is if he drops out and endorses Haley, that's the best never Trump move, right? That's the quickest way to the MSNBC crowd's heart is to do that. And I thought he would do that. And perhaps he was planning on doing that. But now that this leaked, you really can't do that.
You can't.
You notice how Trump gets so lucky? Like the odds just work in this guy's favor so often. Like this was a move where you have Trump 39, Haley 32, Christie 12. So it's conceivable, according to that poll, and we don't know that poll is not an outlier, but let's assume that's vaguely accurate. According to those numbers, it's possible for Christie to throw his support to Haley and get her neck and neck with Trump, at which point you have a real race in New Hampshire. And then the next contest after that is South Carolina, which is her home state. So there was an opening for Haley there. And now he drops out. Now maybe he'll do it. And a fucking leak recording. Yeah, no, she's got no shot. She's going to get smoked. She's going to get creamed. So now he really can't endorse her with any credibility.
Trump is the epitome of Charlemagne's observation in the musical Pippin. It's smarter to be lucky than it's lucky to be smart.
exactly.
That guy, he is the devil, and he has the devil's luck. He just like everything breaks in his favor. It does, which lends some credence to the belief he's the Antichrist. I mean, it could be. We were expecting him to be younger and more dashing, but hey, that's how the devil works. Deception, right?
Yeah.
Nobody expected somebody with an orange spray tan.
Yeah, I mean, that was either Trump's luck or a DeSantis op, who just wanted to make sure that he couldn't come out and endorse Nikki Haley after this. We got to leak this to the
You're
press.
right. Well, see, DeSantis much more fits what we expect the Antichrist to be. So you make a good point. Maybe that was actually the luck breaking toward DeSantis.
Yeah, because they had to do something to stop him from getting behind
his
Haley.
Dark father intervening.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So lucky day for Donald Trump. Christie drops out, and some embarrassing audio leaks that embarrasses not only Nikki Haley, but Ron DeSantis too. He called me. He was petrified that I was going to endorse her. That's funny. Oh, it all works out for our boy Donald, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Please clap.